All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a powerful playbook that is kind of quietly reshaping everything from our morning coffee all the way to major business investments. It's a concept that connects two things you would never, ever expect.
So let me ask you this. What do a coffee machine and a mobile home park have in common? I know, it sounds like the setup to a really bad joke, right? But the answer is the key to understanding one of the biggest trends happening right now.
And the answer is, they're both being run by smart, automated systems. Whether you're talking about an AI that's answering questions about coffee makers, or a massive company that's evaluating a mobile home park for an investment, they're following the exact same fundamental logic. And that logic is what we're calling the Automation Playbook.
So let's start at the beginning. Automating your everyday. You know, you might think automation is all about fancy robots in factories, but really, it starts with tools you probably already use every single day.
Just think about it for a second. If you have ever recorded a macro in Excel to deal with some boring, repetitive task, congratulations, you've used automation. That simple action of giving a system a set of rules to follow on its own. That's it. That's the foundation for everything else we're about to see. You're just teaching a machine to do the grunt work for you.
Okay, so now that we've got the basic idea down, let's scale it up. Let's see how you go from a simple little macro to something much more powerful, an actual AI assistant that can work for you 24/7.
And what's crazy is that with tools like Microsoft's Copilot Studio, pretty much anyone can build what's called an autonomous agent. Now, to make this feel real, we're going to walk through a really cool example, building an agent that can handle customer questions about coffee machines all by itself.
So this is the heart of the playbook, and honestly, it's way simpler than you'd think. It all breaks down into just 3 steps. First, you have to give the AI knowledge. This is its brain. In our coffee machine example, it's just an Excel file with all the specs. Second, you give it rules. This is kind of like its personality. You tell it, hey, be polite, and you tell it what to do if it gets confused. And third, you give it a job. This is the trigger that tells it to wake up and get to work.
You know, the creator of this tutorial, a guy named Daniel Christian, he just perfectly captured the magic moment with this quote. It all comes down to one single action. A customer asks a question, that question gets zapped over to the Copilot, and then the generative AI does all the heavy lifting. It figures out what the person wants, it searches its brain, and it crafts the perfect response.
And that system we just talked about, that's it. That's an autonomous agent. It's a tool that's built to hit a specific goal with almost zero human handholding. It gets information, it thinks about it based on its knowledge and rules, and then it acts. It's basically a true digital employee.
And right here, this is the playbook in action. So a user asks a totally normal question. The agent doesn't just scan for keywords. It actually understands the idea of under $300, and it checks its knowledge base. Then, it writes and sends a genuinely helpful email all on its own. And check out that last point. It even knows how to fail gracefully and say, sorry, couldn't find anything. That's so important. It's a complete, automated, and surprisingly smart little loop.
All right, so a coffee bot is a cool tech demo. But does this playbook actually work in the messy, high-stakes world of big money business? Well, let's take a look at a company called Rhino Communities, because they are applying this exact same thinking to investing in mobile home parks.
The parallel here is, well, it's kind of incredible. Look at this. On the left, you have our little AI agents process. Inquiry, search knowledge, respond. And on the right, Rhino's investment process. Initial evaluation, due diligence, financing. It is the exact same pattern. Instead of automating an email, they've automated their entire deal-making process.
And the proof is right there in the results. By running this playbook, Rhino Communities can give a seller an initial decision on their property in just 24 hours. In the real estate world, that kind of speed is basically a superpower. And it's only possible because of automation.
And that speed, it creates these amazing competitive advantages. I mean, think about it. How on earth can they offer things like no broker fees or free property evaluations? It's because their playbook is just so ruthlessly efficient. They've automated all the friction and the manual costs right out of the system, and that lets them pass all that value on to their clients. It's brilliant.
Okay, so we've seen this playbook works for techies, and it clearly works for big business. But here's the part that I think is the most exciting.
It's now fueling a whole new generation of one-person businesses and what we call the creator economy.
The modern creator is kind of like a conductor. They bring their own unique, niche expertise to the table, but then they orchestrate this whole toolkit of automated systems and AI. They can use AI to handle all the boring, routine tasks, while their digital products are out there selling themselves. It lets a single person have the impact of a much bigger team.
And this is where the playbook can really empower you as an individual. Just imagine, you write an ebook one time, and an automated system sells and delivers it for you forever. Or you build a curated vault of links that helps people, and it just runs on its own. And yeah, you can build your very own version of that coffee bot to handle all your customer questions. This isn't just about a little side hustle. This is the actual blueprint for scaling a personal passion into a real, legitimate business.
So, there you have it. From a simple spreadsheet all the way to a solo creator building an empire, the playbook is the same. Give a system knowledge, give it rules, and give it a job. We've seen exactly how it works. Which really brings us to the only question that matters now.
The tools are here. They are getting simpler and more accessible every single day. The playbook is out in the open for anyone to use. From automating a boring task at your job to building a system that serves customers while you sleep, the power is now in your hands. So the only real question left is the one you see on the screen. What problem will you solve first? Thanks for watching.